Hi there, I'm Alec. And guys, for today's video, I just want to hear you make some noise! It's that time of the year. It's almost summer here in the United States, so it's time to stay inside and play a glorified Flash game for hours on end. I'm, of course, talking about the internet's biggest sporting event of all time, Neopets.com's Altador Cup. It's where the best of the best from all across Neopia come together to lay it all out on the field as they throw UUs into each other's goals and they sling slushies at each other's faces as their fans make some noise in the stands and they make shootout showdowns for an entire month. Oh yeah, the Altador Cup is back, baby. And so am I, because I think the gloves are coming back on, and I'm coming out of retirement. Coach, put me back in, because this year, I mean business. So anyway, yeah, the Altador Cup is one of Neopets.com's biggest events that they hold yearly, and it surprisingly actually has a very rich history around it, which I would like to talk about for those of you who may be new to the Altador Cup, those of you who have memories of the Altador Cup, or for those of you who are just coming to this video just to watch a 20-something guy talk about a niche topic from his childhood. I get it, I watch those videos all the time as well. So in order to tell that story, you all better strap in, because we're gonna have to go back to before the beginning. Before Altador was ever found on Neopets.com, we're gonna have to go all the way back to 2005. So it's June of 2005, I'm 8 years old and on summer vacation, Star Wars Episode 3 is in theaters, Gwen Stefani's Hollow Batgirl is playing on all the radios, and Neopets just got bought by Viacom, aka Nickelodeon, for $160 million. God damn. Why, I hear you ask? Well, pretty simple. It's because it was one of the biggest websites used by kids on the internet. To put it in perspective, Neopets.com hit over 1 trillion page views in 2011. God damn. The appeal of Neopets.com was very quickly apparent. Like the ability to own your own virtual pets that you could play virtual Flash games with that will give you what felt like actual money that you can then turn into things that you can use on your Neopet. It was a genius idea from the get-go. And Viacom saw what Neopets was doing and just said to themselves, oh yeah, time to monetize this shit. But before all that, the Neopets team were actually ramping up to release their first console video game, which surprisingly was going to have huge ramifications for the lore of Neopets and Neopia itself. So oddly enough, this fabled land of Altador that I've been leading you up to this entire time didn't get its start on the Neopets website. Instead, saw its first appearance in the console video game Neopets the Darkest Faerie, released November 16th, 2005 for the PlayStation 2. Side note, I would love to one day make an entire video about this video game because it is so weird and janky, so maybe I'll make one of those one day. But in the meantime, here's a quick rundown of what's relevant to us for this video. In the game, you play as Tor the Loop and Roberta the Akara. Tor is a knight, Roberta's a witch, she uses magic, he uses a sword, and you're able to switch between the two. Classic gameplay. And after both of their stories intertwine with each other, the two of them come together to take down the titular Darkest Faerie, who is plotting to try and take over all of Neopia. And when they face the Darkest Faerie in the game's climax, they unfortunately are easily taken down by her, and instead are transported from the lovely city in the clouds fairyland to a long-lost world that they come to learn is called Altador. And there in Altador, Tor and Roberta find out that some of the characters that they've met and grown to know throughout their journeys are actually some of the 12 original heroes that founded Altador over 1,000 years ago. Now, just to let you know how 8-year-old Alec reacted to all of this, I was freaking the fuck out. What is going on? Altador? The fuck is that? That's not on Neopets.com. What the fuck is happening? And that's how the Neopets team decided to introduce the land of Altador to their fan base. Not through their website that was getting hella page views every single day. They decided to put it on a video game that probably didn't do the best numbers. But hey, I played it, so the reveal worked great on me. So then in March of 2006, about 4.5 months after Neopets the Darkest Faerie came out, players on Neopets.com found a strange portal on a tower in Fairyland. And when the players clicked on the portal, they were transported to the long-lost city of Altador, now on the Neopets website. And Neopets players learned that Altador was actually there all along. It was just located on the other side of the planet. What the fuck? Neopia isn't flat? Take that, all you flat Neopians. A few weeks later, after Altador's reveal, a so-called mini-plot was accessible to players. And this mini-plot was reminiscent of some of the other big storylines that Neopets has told in its history. But this one was a little bit different in that it was still accessible for years after it ended, unlike those other storylines which were cemented to a certain period of time in Neopets. Through this mini-plot, players got to learn the history of Altador, as well as get to learn more about the 12 heroes that helped create Altador. It was a lot more lore than what the PS2 game was able to do, I'll tell you that much. The rollout of this mini-plot eventually culminated in the first Altador Cup, which started just a few days after the plot ended in June of 2006. The first Altador Cup kind of coincided with the real-life 2006 FIFA World Cup. So to kind of emulate the FIFA World Cup, the Altador Cup brought together all the lands of Neopia together in order to participate in a grand sporting event to see who would come out on top. That is, of course, excluding Shenku and Moltara, which during the first Altador Cup weren't created yet. Now, I will admit, I didn't really get into the Altador Cup when it first started. The year that I really got into the Altador Cup was in 2010 during the 5th Altador Cup. I was so obsessed with it, I even got all-star rank for my team. Why did I do it, you may ask? I don't know. I was 13. Not a lot was going on for me during that summer, alright? I mean, as you can tell from my shelf, I was pretty obsessed with Neopets back in the day. Now you may be wondering, Alec, what was your team? Well, everybody, I'm here to say that I was a proud Lost Desert supporter. Oh yeah, baby! A sandstorm's coming for you, and it's rough and irritating and gets everywhere. Just like us. Look, everyone, do you want to see how obsessed I was with the Altador Cup? I made pins for the Altador Cup for myself. Look, this one's like Altador Cup 4. It's got a little UU. It's a trophy. It's cute. This one says Lost Desert for the cup. And this one actually doesn't look too bad. This one's like the trophy. It's got the Lost Desert symbol on it. A little UU. Altador Cup 5. LD. Lost Desert, boy. And everybody, I'm just saying, who won the 5th Altador Cup? Oh, Lost Desert? Yeah, that's right. You're looking at one of the winners of the 5th Altador Cup. You all may bow down before me now. I'll wait. So yeah, I was like obsessed with playing for Lost Desert in the Altador Cup back in the day. I would play every single day during the Altador Cup for hours on end. And I would submit my scores on the Neo boards, specifically in the Lost Desert fan supporter page, SOLID, which stands for Supporters of Lost Desert in Domination. Look, that name's been around for years, so don't be talking shit about SOLID or else I'll fuck you up. So yeah, just a few days ago, I was reminiscing about Neopets, and I thought to myself, the Altador Cup usually starts up around this time of the year. I wonder if that's about to start. So I look, and registration is about to end in under 24 hours. So I thought it'd be fun before registration starts to go through each one of the Altador Cup teams, kind of read up a little bit about them, as well as go through their history of their placements throughout the Altador Cups in the past, and how each one of them kind of stacks up to each other in my mind. We'll talk about the actual games of the Altador Cup later, but for now, let's just get into the teams. So yeah, here's my team, Lost Desert. This is our team captain, Lyra Hegel. He's the goalkeeper of our team. The Lost Desert team showed that they aren't all dried up yet by making it to 4th place last year. Hey, good job, guys. While most fans are excited about the team's sudden improvement, some overheated adversaries described the Lost Desert's tactic last year as coarse and rough and irritating, and that they were just everywhere. What's interesting is that I actually did a little bit of reading about what happened last year during the Altador Cup, and apparently there was a bribing scandal involving the Lost Desert. Man, the Neopets team, they come up with some weird storylines involving the Altador Cup every year. Come on, Lost Desert supporters, we're better than that. But yeah, what's interesting is that the team is largely unchanged from when I played, which is, you know, it was nice. I get to come back to my team that I played so much with back in the day. Let's look at some of these other teams. Let's start with Altador, because they actually won first place last year, surprisingly, because throughout most of the entirety of the Altador Cup, Altador was always like one of the worst teams. They were even last place a couple of times. Like, goddamn, guys, your home team. Shouldn't you be good at these games? Can Altador keep this flare of energy going for this year's tournament, or will they become victims of the winner's curse? So yeah, the winner's curse. Usually what happens after a team wins is that they fall way down in the listings. The year after Lost Desert won, we went from first place all the way down to 13th out of 18. So the winner's curse, it's a real thing. But will Altador beat it? I don't know, maybe. Let's look at Kiko Lake. While Team Kiko Lake wasn't able to reel in another win last year, they're still floating high with 5th place. To explain some of these puns, Kiko Lake is like a small lake town that has weirdly won 3 Altador Cups, the most of any of the other teams. They weren't just paddling around all year though, instead they've been hard at work training their newest addition, Lily Lever. Oh, that's cool. They've got like a new player. They usually like change out some of the players throughout the years, but this time it looks like one of the members of Kiko Lake has retired. Instead, it's this shy uni girl named Lily Lever. Like, I'm just saying, Fluttershy who? Like, hello? We know what you're doing, Neopets. But yeah, in my mind, Kiko Lake was always not one of the best teams. But ever since I stopped playing, they're actually getting pretty high up there. They've gotten first place the most times, but all the other years, they're like way down there. They're either near the top or they're near the end. There's no in between for Kiko Lake. Now let's move on to Krelyador. Krelyador is like the name of Neopia's moon. And I did the numbers, and Krelyador is actually the best Altador Cup team. They've only won the Altador Cup one time. However, they've gotten second place like 4 times. Fans were astonished when Team Krelyador came in second last year. While the team was happy to make it on the podiums, they couldn't help but feel like they were getting a constellation prize. Many think that the main reason they didn't take the cup was due to their right forward Zidor Kievics spacing out when it really mattered. He has decided to step down and let the new rising star, Motor Dahi, take his place on the team. Alright, so Krelyador is the other team to have a new member this year. And I don't know, they got second last year. It's not out of the realm of possibilities for the second place team last year to get first place this year. I'm just saying. Now moving on to a team that's really been a threat throughout the years, Darrigan Citadel. Darrigan Citadel is like an evil gothic castle that floats in the sky, and yes, it is as dope as it sounds. Whenever you were going up against Darrigan Citadel, it was all hands on deck. Darrigan Citadel is one of the best teams of the Altador Cup. I'm guessing because they were probably one of the more popular teams, because I mean, look at them. They're fucking rad as shit. Everybody who's anybody would have wanted to join Darrigan Citadel when they were like emo teenagers playing Neopets by themselves. Their right forward, Tandrick Shea, said, "I'll crush whoever I have to keep our fans happy." He then winked, which made the reporter blush and forget what they were doing. A little bit of horny action here on the Altador Cup stage, everybody. I mean, look at that guy. I don't blame that reporter. He give me a wink, I'd be like, take me. Brightvale. Brightvale was never really a threat. They were always kind of middle of the pack or even lesser so. I think they even got last place one year. They're one of the few teams that hasn't won the Altador Cup yet, so I don't know, maybe this is their year. This year, the team claims that they will bring home the cup even if they have to get down and dirty. You know, Brightvale. Brightvale is a land of knowledge, so to hear them get down and dirty, I think it might be Brightvale's year. But I'm just kidding. It's Team Lost Desert's year, baby. Moving on to Fairyland. Fairyland sucks. I think it's widely known that if your team was going up against Fairyland that day, it was pretty much a freebie day. They got last place in the first Altador Cup, and they have gotten 3 other last places throughout the year. And the highest they've ever gotten was 4th place. They're pushovers. Fairyland once again came in close to last at 16th place, but that hasn't stopped them from having high hopes for this year. Well, I don't have high hopes for Fairyland this year, if I'm being honest. Haunted Woods. Haunted Woods used to be a really scary team to go up against. They won first place during the very first Altador Cup, but now they're kind of pushovers. They apparently did win first place during the 9th Altador Cup, but then the 2 years following that, they got dead last. So don't know what was up with that. But I mean, look at them. They're like a cool looking team. So I feel like they're kind of underdogs in a way. Team Haunted Woods is picking themselves back up piece by piece and is ready to implement their newest techniques this year. What new techniques? The Altador Cup has pretty much been the same year after year. Moving on to Croc Island. Croc Island is like the pirate world of Neopia. They've always had their fans because, I mean, pirates are pretty fucking cool. They're actually one of the best teams in the Altador Cup. They've only won once, and that was back during the 4th Altador Cup. But I mean, the lowest they've ever placed was 8th. They haven't even gone to like the bottom half. They're always up the top. So like Croc Island is always a threat. I don't think this year will be any different. I mean, look at them. They're cool as fuck. I mean, granted, they do have like a basic ass Ogren on their team. Pfft, get them out of there. Boring. Everybody else is like pirate themed, and then this Ogren's just like, hey guys, what y'all doing? All right, moving on to Maraqua. Maraqua is one of the few teams that hasn't won a first place title, which is like a shame for the underwater world of Neopia. So I feel like they have something to prove, so look out for Maraqua if you're playing this year. The Maraqua team seems to be in some hot water as their captain Elon the Black Hole Hueless, don't like that his name's Elon. And Elon has done nothing but party recently. You recently divorced and you're going through a midlife crisis, Elon? Sounds familiar. They do have one of my old Lost Desert teammates, Lamille Tarot, the Blue Kiko. So, I mean, they got that going for them. All right, Meridel. Wait, look at, what the fuck is up with this guy's teeth here? Oh my god. It's like a PNG, and like the teeth were like white, and they got rid of the white of the teeth, and now you see like the crowd in the background through his teeth. Come on, Neopets, what the fuck, dude? Meridel is like the grimy medieval world compared to the prosperous medieval town of Brightvale. They even have a dumb king as a cherry on top. With a real hit to their armor, Team Meridel went from 2nd to 10th place last year. Meridel is another one of the teams that has never won an Altador Cup. In my mind, Meridel's never been like the best. However, it appears that over the recent years they've gotten a little better. On average, they get around 6th or 7th place, so that's kind of interesting. But they've never won, so I don't know. Maybe they got something to prove this year. They don't want to be thrown in the dungeon by King Skarl. All right, moving on to Molterra. Molterra is like an industrialized city located deep within Neopia near its core, thus all the magma references. Molterra was a late comer to the Altador Cup. They didn't show up until the 5th one, and ever since then they've been known as the worst team on the Altador Cup. They have finished in last place 5 times in the 12 Altador Cups that they've played in. The highest place they've ever gotten was 3rd place, and that was a weird outlier because either than that, the highest they've ever gotten was 13th place just this last year. So Molterra, they suck. If they've had such a bad track record so far, there's no way they're getting first place. Mystery Island. Mystery Island isn't one of the best teams. They're kind of middle of the pack, but I don't know. Maybe they got something to prove this year. They did get 2nd to last place last year, so not great. Mystery Island is like the tropical world. It even comes complete with a lost city and an ancient temple. Many fans blame the team's new left forward, Tula Ada, but Captain Volgoth shut that down right away, saying, no one person is an island. We play as a team and we lose as a team. Hell yeah, Volgoth, you shut those haters up. The team has no plans of staying marooned on the bottom for long, as there has already been talk of a secret tactic up their sleeves. Uh-oh. What does that mean? Steroids? I don't know. Look at Volgoth over here. He looks a bit roided up. Rue Island. Rue Island is, how I see it, like an amusement park that doubles as an actual kingdom. When I used to play, they were kind of a threat. During Altador Cup 5, they got 4th place, and they even won 1st place during the 3rd Altador Cup. But since then, they've gotten a lot of, like, near the bottom of the standings. I don't expect a lot from them. Even though they only bounced up the board by 1 place, Team Rue Island celebrated their win at 15th place. I don't know if you should be celebrating that. Moving on to Shenku. Shenku is based on ancient Chinese civilization. It even has a lunar temple located in these high mountains. Now, Shenku is weird. They were like the new team on the block when they first joined during the 2nd Altador Cup, so like they got pretty high up there when they first joined. They even got so far as like 2nd place during the 4th Altador Cup, but then the next year after that they fell down to 11th place. So I don't know, they could come back. but they have been pretty low in the standings since those early years. I remember Shenku was like my sister's team when she used to play, mostly because a team captain, she was like, oh, that kind of looks like me. It has like my hair. Terra Mountain, I always kind of like Terra Mountain, mostly because they have a Borea on their team, and Boreas are one of my favorite Neopets. I found out they actually won one year recently during the 14th Altador Cup, so that's kind of cool. But the thing was, they were never really a threat. They were always kind of bottom of the pack. I don't expect them to be a threat this year against me and my Lost Desert team. The players claim that we haven't seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what they are capable of now with their new below zero training instead of capable, because like there's like a ski lift in Terra Mountain. These puns are killing me. Tyrania is actually one of the few teams that has won multiple times, so they've become a threat. Back when I used to play, they weren't that big of a threat, and since their last first place, it doesn't look like they've done much better. But you know, they're 2 pastime champions. Maybe it's time for them to come back. By the way, Tyrania is like the prehistoric world in Neopia. Like, it's full of primal forms of all the Neopets. These hunting and gathering skills may just be what's given them the bare bones of a shot to make it out of their rock bottom and all the way to the top. These puns, they're killing me over here. Can we just play some games, please? And finally, we got Virtuapets. Virtuapets is like a futuristic space station floating high above Neopia's atmosphere. It even comes complete with an evil alien overlord named Dr. Sloth. Virtuapets, not the best. They're one of the lower scoring teams. They did win one year, but they've also been in last place 2 years. So they know what it's like at the top, but also they have been at the bottom more often than not. The stars in Team Virtuapets' eyes faded last year as they came in last place for the first time ever. No. They came in last place during the second Altador Cup. Jesus Christ. This year the team says to make sure there's plenty of space for them on the field because they're about to make a cosmic comeback. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, all these teams, they think they're ready to come back for this year's Altador Cup, but they don't know what's coming. Lost Desert, they've got a chip on their shoulder, and guess what? Big Alex coming back, baby. I'm coming out of retirement, and I'm gonna show these motherfuckers who's who. So, I think I need to get out there and start training, because the Altador Cup starts in just a few days, and all these teams, they're going down. So I think it's time for a classic training montage. Alrighty, everybody. It's the first day of the Altador Cup finally, and it's time to put in the work. Let's get into that stadium and show them that Lost Desert means business this year. Woo! I got my Lost Desert colors on. Oh yeah, it's starting to get real, folks. Alright, well, let's not dilly-dally around. Let's play now. Let's see who we're going up against. Morocco? Oh, come on. Weren't they like one of the only teams that I said have something to prove this year? And we're going up against them in the first match of the cup? Oh, and also they got our old teammate, Lamille Tarot. Oh, it's gonna be super awkward out on the field. And also, Lost Desert and Morocco are tied in the overall standings throughout all of the previous 16 Altador Cups. Oh my god. You know what, actually, now that I'm talking about it, it's kind of the perfect first match for us. We also get to pound pound Elon Hewlett into the ground. That partying little bitch. Alright, well, I think it's time for me to hit the UU ball field and wipe the floor with these Maragua boys. Alright, so in UU ball, it's kind of your classic soccer type game. You get to choose which direction you want to play. I go from left to right, and also you get to choose your formation. Lost Desert's like cannon formation is 2+2, but you can play however you want. So I'm gonna do the 2+2. That's what I'm used to. Alright, so here's my team. We got Vaughn, we got Luvia, we got Derby, we got Ree, and we got Lyra, and then we got their team. Alright, so in this, there's a couple of different balls. What we're playing right now is the classic UU ball. It's kind of just a regular one. It's kind of just like your classic passing ball. Look at that, already a goal. And there's a couple of different ones that pop up throughout the game, so I got lucky and got another normal UU ball. Those are the easiest to score with usually. God damn it. Get in the goal. There we go. Alright, the Faerie UU ball. The Faerie UU ball, whenever you throw it, it kind of curves a different way. And also there's power-ups. I keep forgetting about that. Right now I just got a frozen ice cube, so now everybody's frozen, and I got another goal. This is the robot, or I think it's called the clockwork one. So after like a couple of seconds, it blows up. So it'll probably blow up before I'm able to get a goal. Another weird thing about this that I've noticed when I was practicing is that for some reason our team is kind of weirdly messed up. The guy that I'm playing right now, that's supposed to be Luvia, but if you look up in the corner, it says that I'm playing Derby, who is the other red dragon. So I don't know what's up with that. Neopets, get your shit together, please. Okay, so the Darrigan UU sucks. It goes whatever freaking way it feels like. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want to get only 5 in this round. Come on! Oh my god. This Darrigan UU. It's always like a death sentence. I used to be able to control it back in the day, but now it sucks. That was a practice run for the first one. We got bad luck with that Darrigan UU ball. What's up, Elon? Little bitch. Oh, you can't get me. Can't get me, Elon. Hey, Elon, how you doing over there? What are you doing, huh? You trying to get this UU? Don't even know where it is. It's in your goal, bitch. Oh, the snow UU. The snow UU, it just goes a little bit slower, so you kind of have to get a little bit closer to the goal in order for it to go in. Hey, Elon, what does goal mean, huh? You know, this boy Elon, he's probably taking cocaine bumps in the locker room in between games. Another snow. Let's freeze them. Oh, perfect. Bam. Easy. Alright, Fire UU. I didn't get to talk about this one. This one just goes fast. The Snow UU goes slow. The Fire UU goes fast. Come on. Alright, and go. Goal, bitch. Alright, this one we might be... Oh, fuck. Come on. Did I get a goal at the very end? Oh, shit. Yes, I was able to get a goal at the very end. We're sending that score. Hell yeah. 8 goals. Feeling good. Oh, yes. Freeze them. Boom. Oh, fuck. Boom. Oh, yes. Get to go fast and freeze them. Easy. Oh, God. Not the Darrigan ball. Let's freeze them. Let's make the thing bigger. Yes! We got a goal with the Darrigan ball. Oh, it's a beautiful day. No. No! Somebody get the ball. Oh, thank God. That was amazing passing. Boom. Oh, the fucking goal shrunk at the last goddamn second. Whoa. Whoa. Ah, why are we going so fast? Lord. That was crazy. Okay. Oh, the mutant UU ball. I haven't talked about this guy yet. The mutant UU it picks like a random one of the other UUs to kind of mimic. So right now I think it just did a snow UU. Oh, from across the goddamn field, dude. 9 points. Oh, yeah. Send in that score. What can I say? I'm a gamer. All right, I think that's enough UU ball for right now, so let's move on to some of the other games. Like, this game makes some noise. In this one, you're playing your team's craziest fan ever in the stands, and he is just making some noise in order to pump your team up. This game requires 2 hands, so I'm putting the mic in the stand. So make some noise. It's a pretty easy game. All you have to do is you gotta mash 2 buttons on your keyboard, and sometimes you get bonus points if you're able to hit another button that shows up in time. So let's make some noise, baby. All right, Q and H. Let's go. Yeah, we're going crazy. V M A M O R O U S. We flying first class. Oh yeah. Let's go! Let's go, Lost Desert! I'm okay. What happened? I blacked out. Alright, I think the team has heard us. They're energized from us making some noise. But look at this, they're about to make some shootouts at the goal. So let's go help them out. Alright, shootout showdown. It's time to take some shots at goal against one of the practice players. The object of shootout showdown is just to get 5 goals as quick as possible. And you know, this should be pretty easy. Oh, it's gonna be so easy. Oh, he won't see it coming. Oh, I'm going over here. Ah. Okay, well, that sucked. I think if you move your UU over, it helps out a little bit instead of going at an angle like I was earlier. Yes. Alright, shootout showdown. That kind of humbled me a little bit. I thought I was in the zone, auto zone. So, in order to get me back in the fighting spirit, I think it's time to sling some slushies with Slushy Slinger, the last Altador Cup game that counts. The amount of times I've slung slushies in my life, goddamn. And I'm back to doing it. Alright, so Slushy Slinger, if you ever heard of the game Tapper, it's pretty much an exact copy of that. You're slinging slushies, which is a common food in Neopia, to hungry fans who want a slushie before the game starts. This game is always a bit more chill, but it's always fun to try and see how well you can do. Hey, what can I get you, buddy? A slushie? That's what I fucking thought. Another tactic you need to kind of be careful of, kind of need to stagger out some of the slushies, because sometimes people will send the slushy cans back to you, and if one of them falls on the ground, yeah, see, like this one, then you lose one of your 5 lives. Oh, look what the cat dragged in. You want a slushie? Yeah, here's your fucking slushie, you big lug. Hey, what can I get you? A slushie on the rocks? That's what I thought. What can I get you, sir? A sex on the beach? Yeah, we don't have our liquor license. I'm just now noticing the fucked up columns. Oh, look at this. 2 cups right in a row. Oh, feed me, daddy. Give me your trash. Oh, look at this. Pro maneuver. So you play this just using the space bar and the arrow keys, and each 50 points you go up a level and the game gets just a little bit faster. Hey, look, it's you and your twin brother. Ah, you two want the same thing. That's cute. Oh, fuck. Shit. Yeah, do you guys have a special today? Yes, we have the green slushie. No red today? We've never had red slushies, so. Hey everybody, how's it going? What team you rooting for? You guys had a great day? What's bugging you, big guy? Seems like you got a lot going on. It's been years since I've been to the Altador Cup. I don't know, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'm a fake fan. People aren't gonna welcome me back with open arms like I thought they would. Hey buddy, it's okay. I'm in the same boat as you are. Now everybody wants the green slushies. What the hell's going on? I wanted a green slushie. You're getting a pink slushie and you'll like it. I'm swamped. Alright, everybody, calm the fuck down. You'll all get your freaking slushies if you just wait a ding-dang moment. Oh, fuck. Ah, fuck. 800. Look at that. That might be like one of my biggest scores I've ever gotten. Also, if the person gets to the end of the... Also, if the person gets to the end of the aisle, then you lose a life, I'm pretty sure. 820 points. That's not bad. I think that's one of my highest scores I've ever gotten. Alright, now that I've shown you guys all the games, I think I'm going to play a little bit more off camera for the night, and then we'll see in the morning how I fared against Moragua. They don't stand a chance. I mean, look at these guys. They're nothing. Oh, whatever if I said earlier that they have something to prove. Well, guess what? I'm proving that they suck, because they got nothing on good old Alec, who was an all-star during Altador Cup 5 when Lost Desert won, me. And when has Moragua won an Altador Cup? Never. Oh yeah, we got this in the bag, baby. Oh man, I'm so pumped. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight waiting for the results. I'm just so glad to be back with my Lost Desert team. Maybe I should get some more gear in order to show my love for my team. That'd be a great idea, right? I'm getting so into it this year. You know, I'm gonna go do that. I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh man, alright, here we go. Time to see how Lost Desert did yesterday. I bet we, like, completely swept the... What? Well, shit. Hi there, it's me, Alec, from 3 Weeks Into the Future. I'm just about to hit render on the video, so I thought I'd give you all an update on how Lost Desert is doing in the Altador Cup. It's currently Saturday, June 25th. Yesterday was the last day of the first round. I'm actually going to see, for the first time, how we did against Molterra. Alright, let's see... Oh, fuck. We lost all of them. Shit. So yeah, currently Lost Desert is in 16th place. But guess what, Maraqua? They're in 4th place, with Meridel currently in 1st. So, like, I'm just saying the teams that I said had something to prove this year are proving themselves. So yeah, Altador Cup 17 has not been our year. But next year... Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like down below, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Bye-bye!